Hi, it's me, Chris Colley. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and I am coming to you today from the Rubber Room, which is my in-home studio. And I'm going to be sharing with you one of the cards we made during my Funfold Frenzy class on Monday of this past week. Every other month I have a Funfold Frenzy class, and I take one Funfold and make 3 cards with it. So this month I did a Funfold called Tuck and Reveal, and it was inspired by Susan Campfield, and you can find her at SueStampfield.com. So some people took this class to go, and some people came to the Rubber Room and shared it with me. During the class, I shared some tutorials and some, stencils and measurements for the project. But today, I'm just going to go through the basic stamping with you. This is the card that we're going to make. So this is your tuck. And when you pull that tuck out, it reveals that little pop-up in there. I think that's just so adorable. So for this one, we used materials from the suite in the new online exclusives. This is a pre-order item. Customers can order beginning next month, but if you wanted to get it this month, there's still time to join and take advantage of the joining special and get the free Stampin' Positioner tool. So this is the stamps that we're going to be using. We're going to be using some dies from it also, and there's some gorgeous designer series paper that we're using. So we are going to start off with our little kit. This is some ribbon from the ribbon starter pack. It comes with this Misty Moonlight ribbon and some white ribbon. It's kind of a 2-pack of ribbon. And let's see what we've got here. Lots of little goodies in here. So this is your card base, and I'm going to start with that. Let me just move some of these pieces out of the way and take a peek that I'm in there for you. So I'm going to start by folding the score line on my left in, and a little score line on my right. I am going to fold out. And then there's another score line right here that's going to be folded in. Okay, so you have kind of that valley fold. So you have 2 in and 1 out. The one on your right is folded out, and then the other 2 score lines are folded in towards the center of your card. And then we have this rectangle pop-up piece, and you have 4 scored sections with this piece. I'm just going to fold and burnish on all of those score lines. And then our 2 middle pieces. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 scored sections, our second and third scored sections are going to get some DSP. This is all the DSP that's going to go on the outside of the card, and this is the DSP for the inside of the card. And you can put your DSP whichever direction you want it going in. Okay, so let's just add a little bit of adhesive. And again, it's going to go in the second and third scored sections. And I did cut this DSP so it would meet up in here. So I'm just going to take a second, and it probably doesn't matter because one's on the inside of the card and one's on the outside, but I do kind of want mine to match up when they fold it out straight. So that is how that is going to go. Okay, and then we're going to bring this in, and you can use tearing tape on here if you want. I'm just going to use some regular Stampin' Seal Plus. And this is going to go taped just at this score line here. So if this is your first score line, this is your second score line. So we're just going to tape it right at the second score line, centered between the top and the bottom. And we're not going to cover that score line because we want it to be able to close. So I'm just going to put it right there. And then I'm going to take this piece and again add some adhesive. I'm going to take that right up to that second score line also. So it's just going to lay down flat in here. And I'm going to close this up. And as you're going along, you do want to just keep using your bone folder to make sure you're getting some really good stick there. Some good adhesive seal there. Okay, and then I'm going to take my square pop-up piece, and this piece is scored at 1/2 inches, I think. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 scored sections on it. And I'm actually going to decorate this before I put it in there, just because I think it will be a little bit easier. So I've taken some of the pieces from the designer series paper and just to cut them out individually. I just fancy trimmed them. So I'm going to add some adhesive to those. And again, if you're a glue person, add some glue. I just kind of prefer my tape to my glue. So that's what I'm going to add. Okay. And I'm going to put my little jam jar. Let's maybe right in here. I'm just going to kind of lightly set them into place right now. And then I can get them where I want them and then go ahead and push them down. This one I think is going to come off a little bit. And I want it up a little bit higher than there. And then I'm just going to put my little blueberries on there. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this. Now you can fold that over if you want to, but I'm going to trim mine. Those extra pieces there. If I can find my scissors, I'm going to trim mine. Okay, hang on 1 second. Oh, here they are. So I'm just gonna fold it on that edge and trim it off. So I'm folding my little box base and then trimming off my jar on both sides. And again, if you prefer, you can leave them full and they'll just kind of go over into your card there and pop back up. You can fold it over however you want to do it. Okay, and then you're just going to need a little adhesive on your first scored section, that scored section to your right. Okay, and we're going to add that right to the center of your rectangle card piece. So it's easier for me to hold mine like this and line it up here. Okay, so I'm just lining it up to the edge of my card base there. And again, I'm going to bring in my bone folder and then I'm going to add some adhesive to the last section here. You don't want to add adhesive on that one that's right up against where your images are, because that's going to be the pop-up part of it. Okay, so we're just going to bend these 2 sections over and we're going to close our card. I can see mine is not really straight there. So So I'm going to kind of manipulate it a little bit and then close my card. And again, come in with my bone folder. And you can see when you pull this flap up, you're going to get that. It's going to move there. Okay? And it's important that you do this part before you add your other designer series paper in, because then you'll have some guide as to where this little piece is going to go. Okay? So we're going to add this piece on the left on the inside and then in the center on the inside. And again, I want to kind of line my pieces up. Okay, so they'll match in there. And that's just kind of an OCD thing that I have. And if it doesn't matter to you, that's perfectly fine. It is, after all, your creation. And you can even use the opposite side of the paper if you wanted to. That red would be very pretty in there. And I'm just going to center it in there. See, I made sure they lined up and then I turned my paper around. Because that's the way I roll. Okay. I'm going to get it right in there. So that is the inside of your tuck and flap. So there's a skirt section here. Just kind of tucks in right there. And then you push it down. Super fun. Okay, and then we have these pieces for the outside of your card. And again, they line up because of the way they were cut, meaning that I cut one, I think I did it this way. Let's see. So I cut one piece of paper, one piece of DSP like this, and then I chopped it into the pieces that I needed so that it would all kind of line up on the outside. So we're just going to add these pieces, and this card is just absolutely so adorable. I'm going to show you the other two ones that we did that were totally inspired by Sue and Susan Stampfield, and I just switched the designer series paper and some of the die cuts. I think I might have switched too. So she has great tutorials and she does amazing fun folds. So I like to every now and then purchase one of her tutorials and then treat my fun fold class to them. I don't treat them to the actual tutorial, but I do make it my own, and they'll get some directions. Okay, gonna put that on there. Make sure I get it nice and straight. And then I have one of the little tags that I cut from the die cuts. The die cuts in this stamp set are absolutely amazing. They're so wonderful. So I'm just going to ink it up in some Misty Moonlight ink. And when you buy this class to go, you will get the materials just as I am using them. All you would have to add for this one would be the Misty Moonlight ink and the sentiment. Everything else would come. Of course, you'd have to do your own little die cutting. I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight ribbon and just kind of give it an angled edge there. And I am going to pop it through. And then I'm going to tie it in a cute little bow. And if you find that your ribbon is too stiff, you can always run it through your scissors, and that will soften it enough so you can get a really good bow. I am a bunny ear bow girl, so I do my 2 bunny ears One goes over the other, over, under, up through the hole, and pull. I used to tie my shoes like that. In fact, I still do. I still tie my bows like that. I tie my shoes like that. That's how I learned when I was little, and it just kind of stuck with me. And then you're just going to pull it until you get it how you want it. Okay? I'm going to, again, trim these up so they're a good size. There we go. And I cut out this honey jar. This is like the cutest. Isn't it adorable? And that's on the DSP too. It's so cute. I just love it. That might be one of my favorite images on the DSP. So because I don't want my image to close this, I want to be able to still use this part of it so I can pull it open. That's going to be kind of an important thing. So I'm actually going to put my adhesive on this little flap and then add my little bear on top of it. I'm going to use some dimensionals for this guy. And it looks like the only dimensionals I have over here are these, but that's okay. They will work. These are foam adhesive strips. So I'm just going to cut 2 of them. And those are going to go right on here. So again, I think I'm going to change my mind and put them right on my flap, and as opposed to trying to guess how wide my flap is when I'm putting it on my sentiment. This way I'm probably going to have a little bit better luck getting it on there. And I think I'm going to add one more little piece right in the middle there. These are some of my favorite adhesives because they can go in those little tiny spots. You can cut them the exact length that you want. Here we go. And then I can just put my sentiment right on top of it. And you don't want to glue this part down because, again, you want it to be able to move. Isn't that just the cutest? I think that's so fun. So we in class will put them all together, but you're going to use the same instructions for all of them. And I intentionally did the same DSP for the inside so that the inside is all one pattern and the outside pieces are all one pattern. That's helps to keep it a little more organized. When Susan did hers, she did some embossed pieces of cardstock out there, which was really cute also. So you can do that. Here's an Easter one. And this one was kind of a fun one. One of the gals that was here turned her paper the opposite way. So you have like these really fun little Easter eggs and then this brown paper. I think that's so cute in there. And one of the gals turned their brown paper on the other side of that. The other side of that one is this fun Easter egg one. So she turned hers that way, which I thought was really, really cute. So there's lots of different ways you can take this pattern and kind of make it your own. And then this was another one that Susan had done. And this one, I think she actually used embossed cardstock in the background of hers. And I added a little bit of nesting twine back here also. So this one has the little gold on the inside. So that was our Fun Fold Frenzy class for March or for February. If you're interested, I will be doing another one in April. So watch my Facebook page or sign up to get my newsletter, and you'll get all of the information about when to sign up so you can enjoy the class with us. Have a happy day, everybody. Thank you.